My beloved child, stop for a moment and feel the weight of what I am about to say. You left even me speechless. My child, do you understand what that means? I, who see the beginning from the end, who formed the mountains and commanded the seas, who knows every thought before it is spoken. I felt so moved when I looked at you last season that you have no idea. The enemy tried to crush you, not because you were perfect or because you never had problems, but because of what they found out about you. Don't scroll, do not wait. This truth has to be told now. If you rush through this moment, you might miss the news that heaven has planned for you. It is not fun to do this. This is not a mistake. This isn't just another message. This is a divine break in your plans. I meant for this to be a stop. I purposefully led your steps here. I purposefully let your eyes land on this moment in the spiritual world. Something very interesting has been found out about you. Even though you were busy trying to stay alive and get through the day, heaven was watching your heart. Angels watched as you kept going. The enemy kept a close eye on you and hoped you would fall. But what was found inside you shocked everyone, even those who didn't believe you. 99% of people will never hear this, but you were picked to get it. It is not because you are better than other people or because you have done everything right. It is because your heart has shown itself to be able to hold revelation without fear or pride. A lot of people want the truth, but not many can handle it. A lot of people want to be chosen, but not many are willing to go through the process that selection needs. You kept going. You are not like most people. You aren't a stranger. It wasn't by chance that you were put on this earth. I put something inside you from the moment I made you that cannot be easily destroyed. There is a depth to you that you might not fully understand. You are strong in ways that even surprised you. When life pushed you hard, there was something inside you that wouldn't break. That refusal was not being stubborn. I put strength there a long time ago before you were born. This moment was planned. I knew there would be a day when I would tell you this truth before you took your first breath, made your first mistake, or felt let down. Sometime I knew you would start to doubt your worth, your calling, and even whether you were important at all. I also knew there would come a time when I would pull back the curtain and show you what I had been hiding about you if you don't pay attention to this. Heaven may take longer to reveal who you are. I am not making a threat. I want to invite you. Please lean in. Do not just brush this off as feeling. Don't just think it is by chance. You asked me to be clear. You asked me to show you the real you. I am now going to answer. I am going to tell you what was found out about you and why it changes everything right now. First, though, you need to shut down the voice that says, "This cannot be about me." It is about you. Yes, you who almost gave up, but didn't you? Who cried behind closed doors, but were kind to everyone else. You who didn't feel seen, but chose to be honest anyway. You who were weak, but kept going. Even I couldn't say anything because your core didn't break when everything else did. When betrayal came calling, you didn't change into what hurt you. You didn't swear at me when delay made you wait too long. Even when loneliness told you lies, you didn't give up completely on hopelessness. There were times when you were almost broken, when your faith seemed weak at night. Something in you kept pulling you back to me, even though you thought you were barely making it. Heaven was keeping track of how hard you were working. I was carefully looking at your heart while you thought no one was looking. What I found was rare. It wasn't perfect or flawless, but it was rare. When convenience went away, I found loyalty. I found faith that flickered but wouldn't go away. I learned to be humble when I could have grown proud. Even after you were hurt, I saw compassion in you that doesn't happen very often. That is why most people will never hear this truth. A lot of people give up when they feel pain. Many become angry when put to the test. When there is too much silence, many people leave. You didn't really walk away, though. You believed that the little things you did didn't matter. You thought that no one could see your quiet obedience. You thought that being calm when you wanted to fight back was a sign of weakness. But it was tough. It got to you. It was a sign that something deeper was growing inside you, till I stand boldly in faith. You are not like most people if you are claiming every promise he has made over your life. You carry spiritual weight. There is something you can do that you haven't appreciated. The enemy knew about it before you did. That is why attacks felt like they were aimed at specific people. That is why the pressure felt so strong. That is why hopelessness tried to hang over you like a thick cloud. He wanted you to forget who you are before you found out. But what I put in, you cannot be taken away by hardship. You cannot erase what I wrote in your spirit by being disappointed. What was learned about you this past season is that you have the endurance to handle more responsibility. You have a humble spirit that can handle blessing. You have depth that can lead to revelation. Now the truth has to come out right away because you need to know who you are for the next season. You cannot move forward if you think you are small. If you think you are not important, you cannot carry what I am about to give you. Do not wait. Do not scroll away from the call. There is no need to hide who you are. The point of this truth is not to boost your ego. It is meant to make you trust me even more. Even I was speechless when you did that. My child, not because of how well you did, but because of how hard you worked. You got through what was meant to shut you up. What you went through was meant to show how weak you are, and instead of falling apart completely, you grew stronger roots. Next, I am going to tell you something that will change the way you see your past, present, and future. No longer can the truth about you be kept secret. You will never look at yourself the same way again once you know it. My beloved child, since you have been living this season without realizing what was being looked at, I will now reveal what was found out about you in the unseen realm while you went about your days and tried to keep it together. Heaven was keeping a close eye on your heart. Your heart. The deepest part of you that you thought no one really saw. Not your looks, your success, or your public strength. When there was silence around you, I looked into your heart. When my prayers didn't seem to be answered, I looked at it. When you were let down by people you trusted, I looked at it. I looked deeper than your outward reactions to see how you really felt. And what was found there made heaven shake. You thought you were just about making it. You thought you were weak. You thought that your tears showed that you were weak. But heaven found something else when they looked closely at you. You had hidden strength inside you. Not loud or proud strength, but quiet strength that cannot be broken. Your core did not fall apart when the pressure rose. It curved. It did shake a little bit, but it didn't break all the way. You still said my name in a whisper, even when you weren't sure. You looked for me even when you felt like I had left you. That persistence showed you something special about yourself. The enemy was surprised by loyalty under pressure. He thought you would leave right away. He thought that your sadness would turn into anger. He thought that your confusion would lead to rebellion. On the other hand, you fought your pain while holding on to me. He was shocked by that. He looked at your weak spots and thought you would fall too far to recover. You didn't, though. You have no idea how closely your actions were being watched. It mattered every time you chose to be calm instead of angry. It made a difference every time you chose patience over anger. It mattered every time you chose honesty over compromise, even when it would have been easier to give in. These were not little events. They showed how spiritually deep you were during hard times. Your faith was shown. Before this season, you thought your faith wasn't very strong because it made you feel things. But faith isn't based on how you feel, measured by how long you can hold it. Even though it was shaking, your faith stayed strong when happiness and comfort went away. A faith that was shaking was still faith. When answers didn't come right away, you kept praying. Even when there wasn't much evidence, you kept trusting, you kept hoping, even though it seemed risky to do so, that showed what was really going on inside you. Faith that is real, not religion or performance faith. Some nights when you cried, you felt weak, but heaven doesn't see weakness. Heaven saw people give up. There were times when you were worn out from trying so hard. Heaven didn't see someone fail. Heaven saw that you kept going. At times you asked me questions, but you never cursed me while you did that. The connection was not broken. You had trouble, but you stayed. Heaven was moved by your perseverance. My beloved child, that is not making things up. When you stayed faithful, even when things got hard, people in the unseen world noticed. When you fought the urge to give up completely, your spirit was given honor. You didn't see people cheer. There was no joy in your heart. That being said, there was recognition. Please help our channel. We are here to make your life happier and stronger in your faith in God. You can donate to us through Super Thanks if you would like to. You didn't see how spiritually you grew. You thought too much about what you didn't have. You compared yourself to people who seemed louder, stronger, and more sure of themselves. You believed you were behind. You felt weak because you fell so far. You could see how much you were growing on the outside, but not on the inside. At first, growth is often hard to see. Fruit doesn't appear in the light until the roots have formed. When things were worst for you, your roots grew deeper. You learned not to depend on cheers, but on me. You learned to look for my opinion instead of approval from other people. You learned how to sit through pain without getting up right away. That is being spiritually grown up. And it was quietly taking shape in you. You thought you were weak because the pain was so bad. But the truth is that being sensitive is not a sign of weakness. It has depth. It shows that your heart is still beating because you felt so let down. You are honest about your faith because you deal with doubt instead of ignoring it. Since you cried, instead of pretending, it means that you were thinking about how to change. Heaven looked at your heart and saw strength where you saw weakness. When you thought people were tired, it found loyalty. It found humility where pride might have grown. It cared about you even after you were hurt. In a spiritual way, you are rare. Take some time to think about that truth. Right now, I want you to do something that seems easy but has spiritual weight. Send me one word in the comments. You only need one word to accept this truth and make it your own. Not just as a habit, type Amen to show that you agree with this revelation. As you type it, picture yourself agreeing with what heaven says about who you really are. You are not hurt. We haven't forgotten about you. Your Amen should rise as a sign that you will never look at yourself the same way again. In a spiritual sense, you are very rare. You thought you were weak. Rare because you kept going without getting tough. Rare because you went through pain without being mean. Rare because you passed the test without giving up faith completely. When things are going well, a lot of people can praise me. A lot of people can speak out when they see blessings, but when comfort wears off, silence lasts for a long time, or disappointment cuts deep, many people pull away. You didn't fully pull back. You didn't leave me even when you took a step back in shock. The enemy saw your tears and thought you had lost. But heaven saw your tears and knew you were strong. The enemy thought that the stress would break you for good, but pressure showed what you could do. It wasn't clear to you how you got smarter. Little things that you used to miss started to stand out to you. You became better at telling when something wasn't true. You started to trust my soft touches more than the loud voices around you. That growth took place in places no one saw. You didn't see how your humility grew. You used to feel like you had to yell to defend yourself. But this season taught you to be quiet. You learned that you could trust me with your name. That is what strength is. There was no way for you to see how your compassion grew after being hurt. You learned to understand people who are having a hard time. You stopped being harsh and became kind. That is being spiritually grown up. Heaven looked into your heart and discovered something strange. My beloved child, not perfection or behavior that is faultless, but a spirit that wouldn't disconnect all the way. A heart that kept coming back. A soul that never gave up. You believed you were weak. Everything changes now that this is known, because uncommon things are worth a lot. Things that are rare are given more responsibility. Things that are rare are carefully kept safe. What you went through could have made you stronger. What you went through could have made you shut up. Even though you were having doubts, you still reached out to me. That is why I say it again. You left me speechless. It is not that I didn't know what you were capable of. It was beautiful to see it unfold under pressure. You are stronger than you believe. You are more complex than you think, better than you know. You are ready. You need to change how you see yourself now that this truth has been revealed. Don't call yourself weak anymore. Do not say that you are weak. Don't think you are behind. In a spiritual way, you are rare. You kept going. You stuck around. You changed in ways you couldn't see, and heaven has seen this. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you is not just a verse. It is a living promise that shapes your future. Come into this moment with purpose and with faith. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. My beloved child, I will now tell you why this truth about you has been kept secret up until now. Because you were wondering why I didn't talk to you sooner. I did. Why let you walk around in doubt? What I did to hide some revelations from you while you were looking for answers. You thought I was quiet because I wasn't close. You thought I didn't tell you the truth because you weren't good enough. But the truth is more complex and full of care. In revelation, timing is important. Some truths are healing, while others are too much to handle. There are revelations that make things stronger, and revelations that make things bigger. It wouldn't have made you stronger like it does now if I had told you this about you too soon, before the shaping, stretching, and quiet battles. It could have made them feel good about their pride. It could have made people scared. It could have taken your attention away from the steps you needed to take. You might not have understood when I told you at the start how unique you are, how deep your spirit is, and how much responsibility your life holds. It is possible that you tried to perform instead of giving up. You may have been after praise instead of growth. You may have begun to try to protect an identity that you weren't ready to carry yet. Little things show pride, my child. It doesn't always yell. It speaks sometime. When praise comes too early, it can grow slowly. If I had told you this before, your humility grew. You might have thought you were better than other people. Instead of compassion, you could have used comparison to judge yourself, and that would have hurt your spirit more than anything else. But fear can also get in the way. You might have backed away if I told you this truth before your courage grew. It is possible that you thought that cannot be me. You may have felt responsible and pulled back into fear. You may have had doubts about your ability to carry what I gave you. I got your heart ready first because of this. Always comes preparation before revelation. I had to help you become stable. It was important for me for you to feel both weak and dependent. I had to make you feel weak so you could see that my strength comes from me, not from you before exposure. The test had to be done. Without a base, exposure can be destructive. When pressure is put on a structure that hasn't been fully revealed yet, it falls apart. I was quietly building up your inner strength while you didn't notice me. I was making you more humble, testing your patience, and sharpening your senses. There was a lot of building going on. You thought the test was only about how long you could last, but it was also about how ready you were. Readiness to share the truth without changing it. Readiness to accept approval without being haughty. Readiness to answer the phone without stress. Being quiet kept me safe. That is what I need you to hear. Being quiet kept me safe. That I didn't publicly affirm you right away was because I wanted to keep you safe from outside pressure that you weren't ready to face. I kept you from getting attention that could have taken your attention away when I didn't tell you everything at once. If I kept some things from you, it was to help you grow. You felt like you were forgotten at times, but you were being formed. You felt like you were being ignored at times, but you were growing in secret. Growth that takes place in silence is stronger than growth that takes place when people cheer. I waited because you weren't ready to hear this truth before, not because you were not valuable, but because you were not ready. Being mature is needed to carry revelation. Keeping your identity requires stability. Having a calling requires being humble. You see, revelation changes the way you walk. What you do changes once you know who you are. Your standards go up. It gets harder for you to compromise. You learn more about what it means to be responsible. It could have been too much for you if the shift happened too soon and your character wasn't ready for it. Before you could understand capacity, you had to know what it was like to be limited. You had to be delayed before you could appreciate timing. Before you could understand strength, you had to know what it was like to be weak. That sequence was planned. Before I told you who you really are, I had to take some things away. I had to stop depending on validation. I had to break the habit of wanting approval before doing what I was told. I had to take away some attachments that would have pushed you back after you took a step forward. Now that I have told you this truth, you might have tried to prove it instead of living it. You might have tried to persuade people instead of just walking in. You may have turned your identity into a show, and that is not my plan. Identity is not allowed in me. It stays the same. There is no need to defend it all the time. It doesn't need to be affirmed all the time. Your heart had to be still enough for this truth to come to you without any changes. You had to have a soft spirit to be able to handle it without being proud. You had to have a strong mind to believe it without being scared. I waited. I did nothing while you cried. I waited while you had doubts. I waited while you fought, not because I didn't care, but because I was paying attention. I was waiting for the time when your strength and humility would balance each other, when your need for me would outweigh your desire for attention, and when your faith would be strong enough for you to take on responsibility. Now is that time. You are not the same person you were at the start of the season. You feel more stable. You are less likely to react. You can tell the difference. You know that you need me more now. This truth can be told safely because of that maturity. The silence kept you from being exposed too soon. Delay kept you from reaching an immature height. Hidden seasons kept you safe from foundations that weren't stable. Understand, my beloved child, that revelation is not withheld to hurt you. It is time to make you stronger. The timing of God is beautiful. There is wisdom in slowly revealing things you wouldn't have been able to enjoy the journey if I had shown you everything all at once. If I had told everyone who you were before you were tested, you might have doubted me when things got hard. You have been through a lot, including wrestling, growing up, and now you can see the truth and know it to be true. I waited because you weren't ready to hear this truth before, but now you are ready. Now your humility holds you down. Right now your endurance helps you. You are now safe because of your wisdom. Your faith now keeps you steady. This truth will not make you feel better. It will hold you down. It will not be too much for you. It will make you straight. Lack of noise was not absence. It was getting ready. Delay did not mean rejection. It was for safety. It wasn't a punishment to wait. It was about positioning. Finally, the veil is lifted so that your heart can hold what has been shown. This message is getting close to something important, something that needs your full attention. There is no longer any silence about your life. The hidden season is doing what it is supposed to do. I also need you to pay attention to what is going on right now. You should write, "I am ready" in the comments, not when you think you are ready, when you have everything together. No, right now, just the way you are. Write, "I am ready." This is your promise to heaven that you will no longer hide who you are. My beloved child, as you walk through your silent season, you must now comprehend something that was going on beneath the surface. The enemy tried to hide this fact about you. He knew something was up before you did, without you even realizing it. He knew how heavy what I put inside you was. He tried to change what I planted because he couldn't get rid of it. He couldn't hide who you were, so he tried to make you think that you were someone else. There was quiet, spiritual opposition against you. It wasn't always exciting. It wasn't always loud. It sometimes looked like a subtle attempt to discourage. Thoughts that felt like your own sometimes came with it. It sometimes came through the words of other people. But those times were an attempt to change how you see yourself. The enemy knew that you would act differently if you ever really found out who you are in me. You would say different things. It would stop making you smaller. You would stop saying sorry for being alive. You would stop settling for less than what I want. And that would make his control over your mind less safe. He planned ahead, so he worked. He told lies about how valuable you are. "Not enough," he said in a whisper. He told you that your mistakes made you who you were until they felt like they were permanent. He played over and over again your failures. He made your flaws look worse and slowed down your progress. He wanted you to see nothing unique, strong, or strange about yourself when you looked in the mirror. There were times when you believed him. There were times when I thought his lies were louder than my own. You believed you were behind everyone else. You believed you were missing something that other people had naturally. You thought that your problems showed that you were not as smart, chosen, or valuable as other people. It became one of his best tools to compare things. He put people ahead of you who seemed to be further along. He let you see their success, their confidence, and how well known they were. And slowly, comparison started to make you feel less sure of yourself. You began to judge yourself by dates that weren't meant for you. You started to judge your progress by rules that were never meant to apply to your life. Comparison took your attention away from growing as a person. You forgot how far you had come because of it. It stopped you from seeing how strong you were. It made you think that you were failing because you weren't moving like other people. You were never asked to be someone else, though. You were called to be the person I made you to be. The attacks were planned. They were the target. You were about to make a breakthrough when you got discouraged. As you went deeper, doubt grew stronger. When your discipline got stronger, temptation got stronger. These patterns were not just random. They were attempts to get you to doubt who you were before you knew for sure. Some thoughts came into your head that seemed strange, but were believable. You are not unique. You will never get through this. You are too hurt. It is too late for you. Those were not true. They were seeds that were put down with the hope that they would grow. Here is what the enemy didn't expect, though. Your spirit wouldn't fully believe those lies. You got rough with them. You did feel them. You had trouble in your heart, though. You didn't want to fully agree with them. That resistance showed that you were still alive to the truth. The enemy tried to hide who you were by making you feel disappointed. He tried to use pain to get you to tell your story. He tried to label your past mistakes for good. He seemed to think that the fact that you were having a hard time showed that he had forgotten about you. The truth lived on. Though your spirit fought back against every lie that was told, everyone who tried to hurt your confidence failed in some way. You may have had doubts about yourself sometimes, but you didn't give up on your faith completely. You may have had doubts about your calling, but you didn't cut off your link to me, what I put in. You cannot be taken away. Pay close attention to what that sentence says. What I put in, you cannot be taken away, not by failing, being turned down, being late, being compared, or the attack of the spirit. I provide a strong sense of identity. It cannot be erased by events. The enemy has not changed it. Hard times don't destroy it. It might be hidden for a while. It might be buried under sadness, but it is still whole. The enemy could only try to change things. He was never able to delete. Attacks were made against you to make you question who you are, but doubt doesn't take away the truth. You are only challenged to find it again. You felt like something was pulling you back toward hope, even when you were at your weakest. I was that pull. The truth was holding on under pressure in that pull. At times, you almost believed the lie that you were ordinary in a bad way and that you didn't have anything special or important to offer. But every time you got comfortable with that thought, I made you feel something else. I told you in a quiet voice that you are more than what you see. The enemy wanted you to forget how strong you were. He wanted you to think about how tired you were. He wanted you to think of every delay as a reason to not compete. But waiting does not stop design. Pressure didn't get rid of the goal. He tried to hide the truth by being ashamed, shame for choices made in the past, shame for making mistakes. Shame on you for your frailties. Shame tries to shut down who you are. Shame tries to keep you from being seen. Shame tries to keep you from seeing the truth. I didn't make you to live in shame, though. I designed you to walk in freedom. Shame may have come to your door, but it did not take over your life. The truth stood strong through all the attempts to destroy it. I can feel someone reading this right now. You have been through a lot. You have been through things that would have killed other people. And yet here you are still standing, still believing, still pressing forward, right now. I want you to celebrate that you made it as your proof type. I survived in the comments, not out of pride. But because they are good, it is not to brag, but to show that God has been with you. You are not just commenting when you type those words, even when you didn't know who you were. There was still something steady about you. There was something strong, even when you felt weak. There was still something important, even when you didn't feel seen. I put that thing inside you. The enemy cannot make anything. He can only bend. He cannot change what I have written. He can only try to take your mind off of it. There is also the power of distraction, which doesn't last forever. You are not the lie that was told over you. You are not afraid of what you feel. You are not the comparison that tries to make you look smaller. What I put in, you cannot be taken away. It could have been checked. It could have been questioned. Someone may have asked about it, but it stays. The enemy tried to hide this truth from you because he knows that as soon as you fully accept it, you will rise with confidence that comes from me. You can support this work through the link in the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says, this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. In your own life, you are activating the anointing. It says in the Bible that if you give, it will be given to you. It makes more breakthroughs in your own account when you share it. You will stop negotiating when you are scared. You will no longer work with doubt. You will stop putting yourself down. Everything changes because of that shift. Understand this completely, my beloved child. Being opposed is often a sign of value. How strong the attack was showed how important what you carry is. The pressure you felt wasn't just there. It had something to do with your potential. The truth lived on, though. As I held it, it stayed below the surface, waiting for the right time to come out. It is now time. You were never taken away. You were never pushed aside. You were never brought down to your worst. What I put in, you cannot be taken away. It is still there. It is still alive. You need to understand something very important. Being in tune with God's voice is linked to what He is doing in your life right now. This message may have made you feel like heaven is talking directly to you about your situation. If this is the case, I want you to take a prophetic step. Right now, sign up for this channel, not as an afterthought, but as a statement that you are putting yourself in line with God's prophetic promises for your life. Every subscription fits with your spiritual path. Getting alerts is like telling God, I am ready to hear what you have to say. Do it now. Get in tune with what heaven is letting out. It is stronger than any lie that tried to shut it down. My beloved child, I must now address your spirit directly and firmly. That is because what I am about to say isn't funny, light, or something that can be ignored. You were picked in a different way. It is not pride that sets you apart or arrogance that sets you apart. It is a weight that most people will never have to carry. You are not one of the 99% who will never hear this. There are many people who will keep walking without ever figuring out what is inside them, but you were chosen to know, and when you know, you have to take responsibility. Do not mistake chosen for ease of use. This is not the same thing as ease. When I say that you were picked in a different way, I am not promising a path that is easy. I am telling you about a calling that needs maturity. That is why you were checked out. That is why you were made better. That is why the silence before the truth was told made you feel stretched. A lot of people want to be chosen, but not many want to be disciplined in order to be chosen. A lot of people want power without being humble. A lot of people want power without giving up. Many people want revelation without being held responsible. But you were shaped in secret because the things you carry cannot be given to someone who isn't stable, Because your heart beat differently when you were under pressure, you are not one of the 99%. You softened while others got harder. Other people left, but you fought and stayed. While other people chose anger, you struggled but still leaned toward forgiving. That is a big difference. That difference is important. You have spiritual power hidden inside you. You don't fully understand it yet, but it has been slowly taking shape. Power doesn't make noise. It is not a boast. It doesn't need your attention. When there is chaos, spiritual authority stays calm. It brings calm during storms. It changes the mood without shouting. While you were hidden, that power grew. But it grew while you were not looking at it. It grew while you worked hard without getting any credit. You didn't need a platform to build on what I was making. You didn't waste the quiet years. The seasons that were not noticed were not empty. They were what made you authoritative. And now that you know this truth, you need to change the way you walk. Not cockily, but with calm confidence. It wasn't loud, but it was sure. Not comparing yourself to other people, but resting in the way I made you. You were picked in a different way. There will be no one else's path like yours. I can feel the Holy Spirit telling someone right now to be a breakthrough for someone else. You are thinking of someone right now who needs to hear this truth. They feel like no one remembers them. They feel forgotten. It seems like their path doesn't make sense to them. God wants you to reach out to them. Right now, please share this video, not after. When you remember, know. Now send this to that person by clicking the share button. It is not just content that you pass along when you share. Your time will not be the same as everyone else's. Your task will be different from everyone else's. That is fine too. That was meant to be that way. Comparison is going to try to get back in. It will tell you that you are behind schedule, not as good as others, or that you missed something, but you were picked in a different way. The measurements that work for other people don't define you. I used a different standard to judge you by that measure. You are not lacking. Right now, you are exactly where you should be. After the truth has been shown, don't let the enemy push you back into fear. After heaven has spoken, don't bring up old lies again. In a spiritual way, you are rare. You were picked in and what I put inside, you cannot be taken away. You need to start moving like you know this now, not with pride, but with peace. Not with pride, but with confidence. The key is not to strive, but to rest. You have been carrying too much weight for too long. It has been too long since you didn't know something. You now know. You now understand. You now know what was found out about you. Even I couldn't say anything because your heart showed it was true in secret. What you went through was meant to break you. You stayed even though it would have been easier to leave. You grew even though it seemed impossible, and heaven paid attention. My beloved child, this truth changes the way you live. From now on, you are not allowed to talk about yourself the way you used to. Don't say you have been forgotten when I remember you. Don't call yourself weak when you have been through a lot that most people couldn't. Don't say you are normal when God has called you unique. Words are strong. It is important how you talk about yourself. Your words need to match up with what I have told you. Say this out loud or to yourself. It is spiritually rare for me. What was meant to break me did break me. Faith was heavy for me to carry. I stayed even though it was tempting to leave. Heaven has seen how I feel. I want you to do something right now that makes God's favor flow over your life right now, when you feel the weight of God's love on your heart. Click the like button, please. You are not just making this move for a video. This is your spiritual sign that God is letting go of something and you are receiving it. Imagine that every time you click the like button, you are making a deal with heaven and giving God's favor permission to enter your life. Your yes to the blessings He is getting ready to give you is your like. Don't do it out of habit. Do it now as an act of faith. It is not like me. I have not been forgotten. I am not weak. I was picked in a different way. Take some time to think about those words. Let them get rid of the old charges. Let them stop telling lies that have been told too many times. The enemy was wrong about who you are. You are what I said you were. I have also said that you are rare. I have said that you are faithful. I have told you that you are ready. The quiet is over. The hidden season has done what it was meant to do. What was made in secret will become clear in ways you cannot fully understand yet. It is not that you will become loud, proud, or pushy. It is that what is inside you cannot stay hidden forever. A light that has been hidden will be found in the end. A structure will be able to stand on top of a foundation that has already been laid. Fruit will eventually be produced by deep roots. You are now in a season of being seen, not attention for your ego, but attention for my glory, not visibility to make people like you, but visibility to do what I want you to do. The same strength that helped you stay hidden will also help you stay visible. Being humble in silence will help you stay grounded when people pay attention to you. People will be able to see the steady flame of faith that flickered but wouldn't go out. You didn't come ready for nothing. You were not made better by chance. The process had a reason for happening. The pain was meant to hurt. There was a reason for waiting. Finally, the goal is being shown. Don't be afraid of it. Don't let fear make you think you are the same person you were before this journey. You are not. You are different now. You are bigger now. You have changed in ways that are hard to put into words. I can measure it though. I believe you are ready. I believe you are ready. I say that the truth about you cannot be hidden any longer because you are ready to bear it without shame, fear, or change. This is your opportunity, my beloved child. You have been waiting for this shift. Not just a change in circumstances, but also a change in how they understand their identity. You now know what was found out about you. You now understand why there had to be silence. You now know that what I put inside, you cannot be taken back. You now know that someone else picked you instead. Move forward in that truth. Let it help you decide what to do. Let it help you feel confident. Let it shut down the lies that try to come back. My child, you made me speechless, and heaven is still happy about what it found in you. Now go live your life like you know who you are before you go any further. I want you to do one more act of faith to seal this truth, to declare that God's blessing is coming into your life right now. Click the like button. It is not about a button. This is about where to stand. With each like, you send out a spiritual message that says, I am ready to receive what heaven is releasing. Your click should show that you agree. Allow favor, blessings, and breakthrough to find you. I am excited to click it now. Before you leave, I want to make sure you remember this truth one last time. Their goal for a long time has been to make you forget who you are. But today, heaven has reminded you, you have been seen, known, and called rare today. Now I want you to mark this moment with your own. Type Amen one more time in the comments. Not all the time, not all the time, but as a seal, as an official promise that what God spoke over you today cannot be taken away, stolen, or ignored. Be humble and strong as you carry the weight of this revelation. Be the person I made you to be. You don't need to strive or perform. You can just rest in the fact that you are spiritually rare. You kept going. This message is over. But for you, something new is just beginning. It has been made clear what you really are. There was no more silence. The hidden season has done what it was meant to do. I want you to take one more step of faith now. Please join this channel if you haven't already. It is not about a button. This is about where you stand as a prophet. Getting a subscription is a spiritual way to connect with what God is saying to your generation. I will not miss what God is saying is what you say when you subscribe. I will stay in touch with His voice. I will stay in line with His holy flow. Do it now as your last sign that you agree with everything that was said to you today. Also, know that when you subscribe, you are lining up with every promise that heaven has made for your future. One last thing before you leave. The things you got today aren't just for you. It is for your family, your friends, and your spiritual family. God wants to use your story, your obedience, and even the simple act of sharing to help someone else make a big change in their life. Spread this message. Tell someone who needs to hear it that they are spiritually unique. Someone who feels like giving up should receive this. Something changes in the spiritual world as you talk. The blessing that touched you starts to move through you. Giving something away makes the breakthrough you got bigger. Don't keep this to yourself. Share it right now. Let the fact that you obey become a miracle for someone else. You stuck around, you got bigger. I will always be with you. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's take a moment to reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is not a stroke of luck. It is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He is extending his hand and inviting you into a protected high vibrational community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is very simple, but it can change your whole life. If you follow it, you will not just receive blessings, they will be multiplied and flow into every part of your life. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate, early access to powerful content and divine insights that are hidden from the general world. Now is your chance to enter a sacred space where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. If you desire to deepen your connection and never miss what heaven is releasing over your life, join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. But your presence, your attention, and your energy already mean the world. Take the step, your abundance awaits.